Ladies and gentlemen, we've done the meme. Aw, here we go again.
Oh, here we go again.
We've done the meme. Here we go again. Breaking news, they're going to indict Trump. Which week, which city, which time are the Democrats going to indict Trump this time? Well, we've lost count, actually. This one happens to be over Trump's lawful holding of records from his presidency. How could they indict Donald Trump for a lawful holdings of his own records protected by the Presidential Records Act? You know, the president gets to keep his own records, right? Like, you're allowed to do that. They raided his house for some reason because of it. The president, of course, has the plenary declassification power. The president himself, embodied in himself as the executive, has the capacity to classify or declassify anything that they want. Whereas Joe Biden, who was not the president when he hoovered and squirreled away documents all over his little China-funded think tanks, didn't have that power. But I digress here, ladies and gentlemen. Biden's DOJ tells Trump that they will be indicting him next week on charges of gathering, transmitting, or losing national defense documents. Got it? How exactly would you lose the national defense documents if they're at Mar-a-Lago and that place is protected by Secret Service in and out? I mean, it was like going into the green zone in Baghdad when we last went to Mar-a-Lago. There are so many checkpoints because Donald Trump, of course, is the leading candidate for the Republican primary and also the former president, so you get that kind of security. Well, they don't explain. But let's read the article from Post Millennial, breaking news, and this is ping-pong balling all over the internet right now. Former President Donald Trump has reportedly been notified, federal prosecutors, that he is a criminal target and will face imminent indictment in a classified document probe. People familiar with the case hold just the news that the revelation comes as the Justice Department has declined to delay charges to allow an investigation into allegations of witness tampering and connections with the senior prosecutor to go forward. The source said that the allegation is just pending in a secret case before Chief U.S. District Judge James E. Bossberg in Washington, D.C. You can't get a fair shake in Washington, D.C. Stay the hell out of Washington, D.C., man. It is a trap. It's designed to destroy you and kill you. Federal indictment brought by Special Counsel Jack Smith could be hanged by a federal jury on Trump as early as next week. We're hearing that it might even happen as early as this week. That's according to, and we always show you our sources here, prosecutors ready to ask Trump for indictment and obstruction in espionage charges. So this is, of course, according to the Independent, as early as tomorrow, which would be Thursday, or Friday. So buckle up, Buttercup, as we've said before. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself there. Smith's prosecutorial team informed Trump's team in the recent days that the charges he faces include a violation of 18 U.S. Code Chapter 37, Section 793, which prohibits the gathering, transmitting, or losing of national defense information. Well, that's interesting, because Hillary Clinton had a server with national defense information on it, and she destroyed it all. That seems like she should be charged. Other charges reportedly being considered are false statements and obstruction of justice, because, of course, sources told the outlet that Trump's lawyers have been preparing their defense for months and months based on legal research in anticipation of these charges. We've had Trump's lawyers on our program, and they have told us exactly that. So, as early as this week, and Espionage Act charges? Seriously? You're joking, right? Department of Justice is preparing to ask Washington, D.C. grand jury to indict Donald Trump for violating the Espionage Act and for obstruction of justice. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached a moment where I'm not really proud of the country anymore. Like, you can't continue to do this and remain the greatest country on earth, the greatest nation on earth. This is a third world, obvious political assassination of the man who is currently the front runner by a mile in the presidential race. They're trying to stop him from becoming president again. Donald Trump saying on Truth Social, this is turning out to be the greatest, most vicious instance of election interference in the country's history. Remember, I'm leading big in the polls. They're launching fake investigations right smack in the middle of my campaign. And he names the investigations. He calls them fascists. Also calling them fascists is a lifelong Democrat and a Hillary Clinton supporter. His name is Alan Dershowitz. He had this to say.
Exactly that they would not go after him on the possession of classified material, but they would try to concoct some process crime, obstruction of justice. But let's remember that citizens of the United States are not obliged to cooperate with investigations that are designed to get them. They can do everything in their power through their lawyers to obstruct. That is, to plead the Fifth Amendment, to plead this privilege, that privilege, to make a motion to suppress material. They cannot, however, cross the line from legal obstruction to illegal obstruction. Now, that line is very vague. It talks about corrupt intent. And it's so easy for a partisan prosecutor to say that legitimate Fifth, Sixth, Fourth Amendment defenses that are supposed to be raised by defendants have morphed into illegal obstruction of justice. This sounds to me like it may be another Bragg indictment, another indictment that doesn't pass the shoe on the other foot test, that would never, never be directed against a political friend, but only a political enemy. And it really endangers our system of justice, which is supposed to be politically neutral.
People who don't like Trump, like Cernovich, who's one of our favorite guests on my show, who is not a huge Trump fan, is saying, as a person, everyone knows I'm not a fan of Trump. As an American, I'm sick to my stomach. He's going to be indicted while real criminals got rich. We learned nothing from Stalin. The show trials. No one escapes tyranny. Even you libs are going to be Speaking of libs, Maggie Haberman from the New York Times says that Trump tells me minutes ago that he was not been told he's getting indicted. Now, Donald Trump did this with the Alvin Bragg indictment, where he sort of like had both sides of things, right? He said that he's not going to be indicted, then he got indicted. So we'll see. But she says Trump says it's not true, adding again he hasn't done anything wrong. So when I asked him if he's been told he's a target, he demurred, saying that he didn't talk directly to prosecutors. So we'll see. I mean, again, we'll see. This morning, a signed letter from Donald Trump declassifying the Crossfire Hurricane docs showing Barack Obama, Joe Biden, the CIA, DOJ, and FBI spied on him was released on DC Drano's account, and he says that they're trying to steal back the evidence of their crimes. That's also been said by Mike Davis and Kash Patel on our show. That effectively what Donald Trump had, and Drano is close with Trump, close with Team Trump, and I expect this to be completely and totally factual. What Donald Trump did is he declassified the documents that proved that he was innocent and that the entire corrupt justice system spied on him and betrayed his civil rights, destroyed our own systems of justice. Not that they can be destroyed any more than they already are, but here we are. And that Donald Trump took those documents after declassifying them, and he took them down to Mar-a-Lago. And then they raided his house to steal them back. Drano puts out this presidential documents memorandum, declassification of certain materials related to FBI's Crossfire Hurricane investigation, signed by Donald Trump. So there it is. Dear national security experts, you were vocal about Trump's lawful possession of presidential records in the heavily guarded office of the former president. You're silent about Biden's unlawful possession of stolen documents in an unsecured personal office, a water closet, or a garage. We live inside of a banana republic. Even lifelong Democrats like Alan Dershowitz, Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton supporters are saying this is despicable. I don't know what else to say other than to read the news. That's the news. Here we go again. Here we go again. We're doing the meme. Ladies and gentlemen, it's evil. What do you do with evil? You fight it. And that's what's going to happen. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.